to the Paper Snob. This is Tara. Today I am working on Paw Your Way into Our Hearts and 31 Day of Cutfiles, day number 21. Paw Your Way into Our Hearts is a monthly hop that we do to scrapbook our pets. And the cut file for today by MK and Janet is this fun 3-piece frame set. And I really love that cut file. I have Vicki Boutin's Sweet Rush here. I used it, I don't know, a few days ago on another layout, and I thought that I would go ahead and maybe try to play with it again today. This is just a random Allie Edwards chipboard piece, but it matches, so I thought maybe I might try to use it as well. I have a scrap from the collection, and then this is technically a scrap. I cut about an inch off of this to make some borders on another layout, and so I brought this in. I am going to make up for the inch I took off with this. I'm also going to use this piece to back part of the cut file as well. So I'm going to pause. I'm going to get started with this. We'll be right back. Okay, so I'm cutting off a 1.5 inch strip from the black pattern, and now I'm using my mat to measure up exactly where it needs to go. And I'm going to go ahead and add my adhesive here. Got some on the top of my pattern paper. Thankfully it just rubs off. So I know you can't see because the numbers are cut off on my screen, but I have the bigger piece of pattern paper up against the 6 on my mat so that I could go ahead and get that on there evenly, and it's pretty even. Like I said, I had cut off 2 1/2-inch strips from the colorful part of that pattern paper for my previous layout. Now I'm pulling in this Print Shop Heart stencil. I do not use this stencil enough, and I've seen my friend Brandy Jo use it a few times lately, and it always looks so awesome. So I thought maybe I'd go ahead and I'd use it here on the bottom just to add a little bit of color to the bottom half of this layout, because most of my design is going to be along that top half. I'm using a baby wipe to kind of wipe off my stencil because I'm going to use the blueprint sketch next, and I was afraid if I left that yellow on there I would end up with green, and I didn't really want green on here, so just a me thing. Not in the stenciling anyway. I do go ahead and use citrus, I can't remember what it's called, the green citrus something, and so there it is. I'm spraying that oxide onto my mat, reaching for a paintbrush, and I'm going to use splatters. So that's all I'm doing, is I'm just splattering it. I don't know how well you can see. Yep, I'm tapping the paintbrush, and I'm just kind of splattering all over the background, including on the stenciling. Now, it was kind of funny to me that once I added the water, the green looked more yellow. So that was kind of funny to me. The yellow that I used is squeezed lemonade, I think. And the purple is, I want to say wilted violet, but I'm not positive. So got the stenciling done, and now we're going to go ahead and back this cut file. So I left in the part of the video where I back the cut file. I'm going to use the black and white striped on the clothespins, or the pens or clips or whatever you want to call these. It's on the 3 frames. It looks like, to me it looks like frames hanging off a clothesline with clothespins, so I'm going to call them clothespins. I know that clothespins are brown, but I really wanted to use the papers that I had in my hand. So I traced all 3 centers, and then when I cut them, since you can't see my pencil lines real well, I cut outside of the pencil lines just a little bit so that there's some overhang. I don't want a lot of overhang because, of course, I don't want it to hang outside of the cut file. I'm adding my glue. This is my Barely Art glue, and it's being a pain in the neck right now. I have one of my Scrap Perfect fine writing lids, is what she calls them, on it, and for some reason it gets clogged at the bottom, and I have to take the whole thing apart and clean it out. I don't have to do that with other glues, just this one, and it's rather annoying. At some point, I think I do switch to my Nuvo Deluxe glue, and I don't remember if I do that on camera or not. For now, the Barely Art glue is working. Nope, it wouldn't come out there, so I'm going to go ahead and cut out my little piece here and get it ready to go before I stick glue on there. I put the pen back inside the glue because that seems to help. I think that must mean that somewhere in this bottle it gets air, and that's why the last time I cleaned it out, I cleaned out a chunk of partially dried glue out of the lid portion, not in the pen, because the actual very top piece happens to go all the way down through into the actual piece that you screw on, the part of the lid that you screw on. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not sure what's going on with that. I am using the purple pattern paper scrap. It's from the same piece that my scissors are laying on, but it's the purple part of it. It's kind of a gradient ombre looking pattern paper, in case you don't have this pattern paper or you've never seen it. It has purple down into blue. It's gorgeous. Makes great background papers. I had already cut this apart for a previous layout. I think I have one more full sheet of it left. I bought a ton of Sweet Rush when I bought it, so apparently I've got quite a bit left. And like I said, it makes really good backgrounds, but I'm using the purple to back the, those look like film strip frames. So the film strip part, it's gonna have a little peak of that purple on the side. I don't think you have to do that. I just did, and I like how it looks, and I think you will too when I flip it over. So I'm kind of guesstimating on the strips. They're not quite 1/2 inch wide, and I think they are 3.5 inches long. Not positive on that. I did measure the frame, and I think I might even do that on camera because I need to figure out how far to cut down my photos. Now, when it comes to putting the photos in the frame, instead of adding glue, because I was having trouble with seepage, I decided to just use washi tape to glue them or to adhere them to the back. And then in the glue down process off camera, I add a little bit more wet glue in a manner so that it doesn't pop through and seep out of the edges of my frames. Usually the fine line applicator helps with that, but not always. Yeah, I really like how that looks. So cleaning off my space a little bit, and now it's time to bring in that ruler so that I can decide how much I need to cut my photos. And one of my photos is landscape, not portrait. So I'm going to put a piece of the pattern paper on the top half of the cut file to make up for the empty space. I think it looks okay. It's not a favorite. I should have paid more attention to which photo I printed. I didn't. I really like this photo of Jasper. It's the one that the butterfly is sitting on top of right now. So here is where I'm tacking it down with the washi tape. This is a roll of washi tape that I just keep in this dispenser because I know I'll never use all of it on my pages, and I just use it for stuff like this, for holding down stencils or whatever. Although now that I have this glass mat, I find that I hold the stencils down with the magnets, which is awesome. Because washi tape is sometimes hard to get off the stencils after it's been on there a while. I've got a few stencils that it just will not come off, so I think that's kind of funny. So see, I've got that little bit of a gap up there at the top of that third frame for the last photo. And so I'm just going to put a little piece of the blue pattern paper back there in its place so that it's covered. I just want to make sure that there's no gaps when I go to put it down on my finished background. So here's the photo, and I know I'm kind of off camera there a little bit, but like I said, I'm just tacking it down with the washi tape, and I will add wet glue to that when I glue it down later. I will be using fun foam on the back of this cut file when I put it down on the background. So, and see, this particular washi tape doesn't have much sticky, so I don't know, it may end up in the trash if it doesn't stick, but we'll see. Do like how this cut file turned out, and I'm just gonna try to pick it up. I lost my photo there for a minute, and now I'm gonna add a little bit of glue underneath that photo because it keeps coming off. I'll do more off camera. At least I think it's off camera. But I will be popping up the whole cut file with fun foam when I do the glue down process. Now I'm gonna start trying to decide what embellishments are going where. And I don't really know for sure how things are gonna look. I'm kind of checking that out as I go. So I liked the little like paper clip that says living my best life or living my best dreams or whatever it actually says. I really like that. And so I cut the paper clip off because I knew that I wasn't going to need that piece. I thought it might get in the way of tucking it behind something. It doesn't, it says living my dream life. It doesn't end up where I have it currently. So I saw that I had two phrases, and it says grateful for small things, and I cannot tell you how grateful I am for this kitty. He keeps me company all the time. He's just a great little dude, and he's made my life better. So I love scrapbooking about him and stuff like that. So I'm wanting to use this black star border, and as you can see, I'm having a hard time getting it to come off. It's like the sticky part is separating from the top part of the sticker, and it just would not come off. And then I get it on there and I realize it's not really 12 by 12, which if you know me, that annoys me when they're not. For right now, it's going to sit there. It doesn't stick on its own, so I will actually have to use wet glue. You can kind of see it popping up already on that left-hand side. But I'm just laying it there for now. What I'll end up doing is cutting it in half and pulling both sides to the middle and then placing something in the middle of it so that you can't tell that I cut it in half to make it fit completely across my 12 by 12 page. I have this journaling stamped image, and it was in with my Sweet Rush embellishments. I have them in little plastic envelopes, but I don't know where it came from, so I fussy cut that out. And then I added a rainbow sticker, and I put the grateful for small things phrases on top of it. My title is going to be Loving This Day, and actually these photos were taken on different days. They were taken throughout January and February of 2017, and I think when I date it down at the bottom, I will actually specify that. I was going to pick up and move that title because I don't like where it's at. I do that off camera, and then I'll be right back. All right, I got this layout completely done. I'm really happy with the way that my cut file turned out. I did add some puffy stars from the puffy stickers set off camera, as well as some little gold dots to the little clothespins on the clothesline. And otherwise, you saw me do everything else. Oh, and I ended up cutting this sticker in half when I went to glue it down because it bothers me when they don't actually go 12 full inches. So I cut it in half and then glued it down because it wasn't sticking. And this is where I ended up adding this Allie Edwards colorful half circle chipboard piece. There's some foam adhesive behind here and a little bit behind this wing. Otherwise, you saw me do everything else on camera. I want to thank you for coming to my channel today. Please make sure that you check out my description box below for the hop list for Paw Your Way Into Our Hearts. Most of us have pets, not all of us, but most of us have pets that have stolen our hearts. And this little guy, he's now 9. These photos were taken in January and February of 2017. But he has just made an imprint on my heart. You get to see him sometimes on camera. He's not getting up here as often when I'm recording like he was, probably because a certain new kitten is doing that instead. But he does make his appearances on camera once in a while, as does Phineas. I really hope that you guys have a great rest of your Thursday. Bye.